Alright, guys. So I went ahead and got my battery charged, so now we are good to go. So I'm going to go ahead and finish off where I left off at. Um, this stuff is crazy. Like, you would never expect anything like that, especially in Georgia. Now, I don't know what part of Georgia this lake is actually on. What I can do is find out, and I'll let you guys know for sure. So, um, so basically, in all these cases of people drowning, most of them have drowned fairly close up to shore, um, and had their bodies turned up in positions far from where they died, which obviously was due to currents, but when mixed with spooky rumors becomes a case of ghostly forces dragging corpses through the water before discarding them. Like I said, this is ridiculously scary, really scary. Um, so the 17 deaths were in 2011, obviously. In 2012, the trend continued when a quick succession of violent deaths and horrific injuries occurred here, which made national news. The first of this wave of deaths happened on June 18th, 2012. A 9-year-old boy named Jake Prince and his brother Griffin, who was 13 at the time, they were riding a pontoon out on the lake and were stuck and killed by a speeding boat driven by a Johns Creek business owner named Paul J. Bennett, who was 44 at the time. I don't know exactly what he was doing at the time. I mean, just besides driving the boat, obviously. Other than that, mere weeks after this tragic accident, on July 9th, obviously in 2012, 11-year-old Kyle Glover, who happened to be the son of the popular pop star Usher's ex-wife Tamika Foster, which is crazy. This I didn't even know. I'm pretty sure they might have known about it. Not too sure, but anyways, um, they were they were struck while riding an inner tube by a family acquaintance riding a jet ski and rendered brain dead. Although doctors struggled to save his life, he died 2 weeks later on July 21st and was taken off life support. A 15-year-old friend of the boys was also seriously injured in the same incident, but ultimately recovered. These tragic accidents took the media by storm, and before long, Lake Lanier was being deemed cursed and a death trap by the news and social media sites such as Twitter. You can look it up on Twitter. You can type it in on the search button. It'll probably come up, and you'll probably see something like this. Like I said, this is crazy. Like, I never would have expected anything like this at all. Nothing. And this is the type of stuff I would like to learn about and know about, so that way, if I was ever to go over there and travel, because I like to travel and I want to travel and I want to be able to travel, so that way, if I know anything about this, I can learn how to stay away from it and not be anywhere near it, because I can't have anything like that happening to me. Um, but anyways, most people and many people were insisting that this lake was an evil, vile place that was just best being avoided, like prohibited, forbidden. Anybody that was wanting to come over there was not able to go there, and shouldn't even go there to begin with, because obviously it's a mere death trap. Like, it's not like you're wanting to, but you're kind of forced to, die. You're forced to die over there if you even bother going there. Like, it's just best if you just didn't go there. Um, let's see. It might actually. I'm not like I said. I'm not too sure where in Georgia this was. Just one more. I'm actually gonna share with you guys before I jump over to the next state. So Lake Lanier has been the location for the most bizarre and mysterious deaths and disappearances that still remain unsolved. One case revolves around a Georgia man by the name of Kelly Nash, who was 25. Yeah, Kelly Nash. Kelly Nash. Now, obviously, when I think about that name, I think of, oh, it's probably a girl. No, it's a dude. It's a guy. Well, obviously, he was 25 at the time. He was missing from his home in Beaufort, Georgia, on January 15th, which happened to be 5 years ago, actually. 5 years ago in 2015. It was early in the morning. At 4 in the morning, Nash woke up with flu-like symptoms, like coughing and sneezing, and he told his girlfriend at the time, and she was actually still with him at this time, and her name is Jessica Sexton, I believe. Um, yeah, so he told her that he wasn't feeling good, he was terrible, he needed to go see a doctor before, he ended up trying to go back to sleep. So he so I'm not too sure what happened around that time. Um, I want to say that I think she went back to sleep after, I guess, um, after he told her that he needed to go see a doctor, because she might have been like, oh, he probably just needs to take medicine, or he probably just needs to go back to sleep and he'll be fine, something like that. So she wakes up again at 7 in the morning, around 7:30. She wakes up and I don't know if he was sleeping with her or they might have had separate rooms. I'm pretty sure they might have had separate rooms, but um, if they were in the same room, then obviously she woke up to find out that he wasn't there. Like, Nash was gone. He didn't take his wallet. He didn't take his car keys. He didn't take his ID or anything like that. Um, so Nash hadn't returned that evening, so Jessica ended up calling the police. And when they came in, it was discovered that, they discovered actually that a 9mm pistol was missing from the house, but none of Nash's other belongings were missing or out of the place. So either he shot himself and committed suicide, or obviously he might have been possessed and might have maybe went on a killing rampage. Who knows? Who knows? 'Cause I don't. But we're about to find out right now. A massive search was subsequently be launched for Nash. Authorities would go looking for him. His family, her family would go looking for them. His friends and maybe her friends that might have known him were going to look for him, and they even had search dogs, trained search dogs to go and search out for the dead bodies. And anybody that knew any information or knew any of his whereabouts would be offered $50,000. 50K. You know how much that would mean if you actually went and knew where this guy was, knew about his whereabouts, and knew information on where he could have been and might have been, and get $50,000 for that, just for the reward. That would be awesome. I would be happy to accept that. Like, I will literally give you all the information I need, and I'll be gladly to be awarded the $50,000. So after they've had everybody, all his friends, his family, her friends, her family, and the search dogs go out and search for this guy. No trace of the guy was found. None of his whereabouts were found. It wasn't until 1 month after his strange appearance, on February 8th of 2015, that Nash's badly decomposed body, like, it was like looking. If you seen the Mummy, I guess like the Mummy, and how their decomposed bodies look, it probably looks something like that. Maybe I wish I could give you guys a picture of what it looked like, but here's what I can literally show you. I can show you the picture of the what was at the bottom of the lake. Obviously, actually, hold up real quick. So here's what lied at the bottom of the lake. Like that is creepy. That is some creepy stuff. Like nobody would ever think that you would see something like this at the bottom of the ocean. Like really? Really? You would never see anything like that. Not this at least. You would never see no house, no ghost town. Like you would not see that. You swimming in there is like you're running into a death trap. Like you're literally asking for death to hit you right smack dab in the face. And it's crazy. Like it's so crazy. And that's one of the things that I don't get. Really one of the things I don't get. And it's like, why? Why would you even bother doing that? Yeah, they found his decomposed body in the lake by some fisherman. I'm not too sure what his name was, but he was wearing his pajama pants and the dark shirt he had on when he went missing. Um, although the body appeared to have no major trauma, and yes, I was actually right about this. Like he actually shot himself. He suffered a single gunshot wound to the head. The crime has never been solved, and it is unclear why he chose to go out in the middle of the night in his sleeping clothes, how he ended up at the lake, and whether he committed suicide, if there was a foul play involved, or if the lake's alleged curse had anything to do with it. So, nobody really knows how Nash ended up dying. I feel like he might have shot himself, or it has something obviously to do with the lake and it killing him or causing him to kill him. Um, there are many more stories, obviously, to the there are many stories to this case. Not just this case, but many other cases revolving around the lake. I don't want to get too far into it. I do want to get to the next one. Like I said, that's creepy. That is some creepy stuff, and that's something you would never ever see me go to. And I want to recommend that you guys don't bother going over there too. If you live anywhere in Georgia, don't go there. Don't visit there. Don't try to sleep over there. Don't buy a beach house if there is one near there. I mean, I don't know how it looks now, but yeah, don't bother trying to go over there because obviously it's something that is going to immediately kill you the moment you either get dragged into the lake or you purposely fall into the lake or accidentally fall into the lake. Um, I'm trying to think. So so basically, the lake is actually is a reservoir and is located in the northern portion of the United States in Georgia. It's created by the completion of Buford Dam on the Chattahoochee River in 1956 and is also fed by the waters of Chastity River. I'm pretty sure those might be somewhat connected, I guess you could say. They might be somewhat connected or at least close. Um, I'm definitely guessing that it is in Buford, Georgia. So for those who live anywhere near there, I would recommend to not go anywhere near it at all. Um, looking at some of the reviews here, and some people have said that I guess they've had a great trip over there. Like I said, I don't know because I've never been there, so I wouldn't even bother trying to go over there. Now, if I was them, I wouldn't bother trying to, and they actually have hotels near there. Uh, from what I've heard, they're 3-star hotels. And from where I'm at now to try and travel over there, it wouldn't even cost like that much. It's like a 45-minute flight over there. So, like I said, it's not that far. But kind of wanted to go ahead and share that one with you guys. So, the next one we're going to go ahead and go to is New York. So, New York, I'm sure probably has something even more creepier than that. Um, like I said, it's really creepy. It really is. I'm sorry to say it. That was really scary. Like I wasn't even ready for that one, and I'm sure you guys weren't neither. Um, so I really don't know what to say on that. Um, so New York is somewhat, well, I ain't gonna say somewhat, but it's really an expensive place to stay at, from what I've known. Um, Sorry, just kind of got a little cold in here. Sorry. I don't know if I had the vents on or anything like that, but yeah. Oh my god. Oh boy, this is not good. This probably isn't gonna be good. But one of the most famous haunts in New York, and it is actually some. I'm not even gonna say somewhere near New York. It's literally in New York City itself. Um, so basically, one of the most famous haunts in New York City is this story about Cropsey. And for those who don't know what Cropsey is, it's basically um, it's a story about a madman um, who stalked a sleepaway camp mental institution children's hospital, had a hook for a hand, and killed children who were wandering alone at night. So most parents would use this guy as like the boogeyman or anything like that. So I know I have to look around too and make sure. Having to talk about this stuff kind of creeps me out, but uh, one of the things I like to do for you guys. That way, I know you guys don't really think that I'm just like, oh, he only does like cosplays. He doesn't really, kind of go out of his comfort zone and actually talk about spiritual stuff. I mean, I'll talk about like urban legends and haunted places. I'll talk about that type of stuff. But messing with like a Ouija boards, doing rituals and stuff like that, and seances, that's not me. Like I personally won't do that. Not just because I'm a black person or an African American. I mean, they're both the same, but really don't care. But yeah, not just because of that. It's because me growing up, like my grandmother, growing up with my grandparents, they were literally religious. So we only talked about God. We didn't want to worship Satan. We never did, and I never will either. Like that's nothing that I would do. I will never ever worship Satan because obviously he is an evil person. But um, most people that went to camp in New York State obviously heard about this guy. Um, and obviously, it took like a mere left turn when a documentary posited that Cropsey was actually real. It was a convicted child kidnapper named Andre Rand. Um, very scary, very scary. Um, and thankful for me, I don't live in New York at all, so I'm very happy, very happy that I don't live anywhere there, in there, or anywhere near there, because I would be scared out of my mind. At that point, I might as well just be dead. Right? I would not want to ever want to be told anything about that at all, because it would ruin my life right there and then. So the place that I guess this guy was haunting children in was Staten Island, Staten Island, in their nightmares. But needless to say, this guy was actually hunting them in real life too as well. So it kind of made it a whole lot worse, whole lot worse. So um, Andre Rand, who happened to be Cropsey, um, he was rumored to be a homicidal madman, an escaped mental patient with a hook for a hand who hunted children and dragged them back to the tunnel system that lay under the abandoned ruins of the old Seaview Hospital, a former tuberculosis sanitarium. Only parents would frighten their children, not frighten their children, they would use that guy, talk stories about him to frighten their children into, being good if they ever misbehaved. They would use that to their advantage to actually make them behave a lot better and staying near home so that way they wouldn't leave out by themselves and get killed. That's why it's always better to not be outside alone, especially in the dark, because like stuff like this, you never knew would happen. You never know what would happen. That's why this world is extremely cruel, because obviously, like, no matter where you go, you're never safe anywhere, to be honest. You really never are. And it's like you have to find ways to either avoid it or just be like, you know what? I'm gonna stand for what I believe in and what I need to do. I need to protect myself. So, um, so this guy would literally. I mean, after all, this guy would literally just be anywhere waiting to make his attack, waiting to strike. Just anywhere. You never know. Anywhere in New York. Anywhere. You would never know. And yeah, trust me, I had to look back too. Older siblings, whether it was brothers or sisters, they would tell these stories at night to terrify the younger brothers and sisters. Um, so obviously there was a movie made in 1981. It's a slasher movie called The Burning, and basically it tells the tale of Cropsey itself. It tells a story about it. It's a cult classic. The Staten Island Scouts once swapped over toast and marshmallows. They were obviously, camping and, enjoying themselves, having a good time. Um, it also features a once respectable man named George. So it wasn't Andre Rand. He was actually the kidnapper, is what I meant to say. George was the guy itself. Basically, this guy goes insane after a prank gone wrong. So I want to say he might have been one of those. Ooh, see, I don't even want to say that reminds me of me because that wasn't. It never was me. Like I wasn't that type of person that would be like, oh yeah, prank goes wrong. Now I'm about to just go off. I feel like he might have been one of those either nice guys or quiet, shy guys. and a prank gone wrong would leave him disfigured and begins killing unsuspected summer campers with an axe. Um, well, actually, I was right. Never mind. It was Andre Rand. So in the 1980s, the children of Staten Island had even more reason to fear the local boogeyman. He had come to life in the form of an actual homicidal madman who really did hunt children. Soon the urban legend would be unmasked as Andre Rand himself. So, okay, so this is what the place would look like. Like, it looks, I think it's an asylum. It's an asylum or a hospital. It's one of those. It's in New York City, New York. Not even sure if anybody, like any of the YouTubers, have visited this place. I would hope that they haven't, because if so, then they wouldn't obviously know about the store itself. They would know everything about it. So, like I said, something that I'm really hoping that they never try to do, because obviously it's something that right there would literally scare your pants off to the point where you probably couldn't even sleep, to be honest. Like, I'm not even joking. Like, having somebody tell you that type of story just to scare you, I would literally be so upset to that point to where I would leave, or I would probably just hit them. But then doing that would obviously probably make it worse. But at the same time, I feel like they would have gotten what they deserved for even trying to tell the story about it. It's like, you shouldn't have done that. Like, you know that if they're scared of that, you wouldn't even bother trying to tell them that story. So it's like, don't do it. It's so simple and easy. But like I said, I'm actually gonna have a part 3. So like I said, this is gonna keep going. I don't want to, I don't want to have to do everything. I really want you guys just to be able to enjoy this type of stuff that I do. So having to do like one big full video would kind of take it forever, and I would assume that my camera would probably cut off by the time it hits its limit. So, um, rather just go ahead and try to do parts, so that way it would make it a lot more easier for you guys too as well. But anyways, yes, there is going to be a part 3 as well. So we are going to be checking out the next 3 states that I have here, and we are probably going to do a part 4. It's probably, there is going to be a part 4. I'm just going to go ahead and say it now. There will be a part 4. There's going to be a part 3 and then a part 4, and that'll be the final part of that. So I'm really hoping you guys are going to enjoy the rest of this. Sorry, I just had spaghetti before I started doing all this. My stomach's kind of full. But I really do hope you guys enjoy this urban legend series that I'm going to do for you guys. Like I said, there's going to be 10, well, I don't even know about 10 videos because I'm doing parts. So there's going to be a lot of videos. From the 50 states that I do, we're going to have each video with a specific haunted place that would scare your pants off, to where you wouldn't even bother going to these places, or wouldn't want to even go near this place at all. Trust me, I wouldn't even go to any of these 2 places I just talked about. Wouldn't even bother trying to. But yes, there will be a part 3. So hope I will see you guys in just a bit.